People right now who are moving the right direction in Web3 will set up their families for generations indefinitely.
All right, we are here with Aviva. Is it Sonenreich? Is that how you correctly pronounce it?
Sonenreich or Sonenreich.
Sonenreich.
Yeah.
Okay, Aviva Sonenreich. And really thankful to have Aviva on our interview today. She brings a wealth of knowledge, originally coming from, in this case, commercial real estate, but has since got into crypto and NFTs and started educating herself quite a bit, it seems. And I can't wait to hear all about that. And on top of it, we are lucky enough to be with a content creation pro as well. So Aviva is very active on TikTok mostly. So I'm excited to hear about that as well. But welcome, Aviva.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I will give you all my secrets. So I'm excited to chat and bring all of your viewers a bunch of value.
That's awesome. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. So this is going to be great.
Absolutely.
Just a little background. So I first came across Aviva on reading a Forbes article that she did, and it had to do with NFTs and how they are going to enter the commercial real estate sector specifically. So going back before you were writing Forbes articles about the relevant information, when did you actually first get into NFTs and first hear that word and then like, okay, I'm going to spend a day learning about this?
When Gary Vaynerchuk dropped VeeFriends, it was literally one post. It was like, I'm dropping an NFT project. And I was like, I need to figure out what is going on. And that was the first time I heard of it and did it.
So you were a Gary V follower before that, I imagine.
Oh, like painful, like ridiculous. Yeah.
So
Very
how long ago was VeeFriends launched? When was that? When were that it came across you?
May 2021. And he
21.
started promoting it, March, April.
And it probably feels like you've been educating yourself and been in the industry longer than what, a year, a little under yet, or?
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, I would say probably about a year right now. Um, it's so crazy to have something so impactful and so new in your life, but also just like in the world in general, and realizing the reality of what it's going to bring in the future is very exciting.
Actually, yeah, I would appreciate it if you could go a little bit more into that. I was wondering how does that process look like? Like you said, okay, in May of 21, you're like, oh, Gary V, he's talking about NFTs. Let's check it out. To, oh my goodness, this is so impactful, and I realize like where this is going. I might not understand it, but I'm all in. Let's do this. How did that process? How did it go? Quite literally from 0 to 100 that fast?
Well, we can choose what we want to do and not do all day long, but the reality is when you watch human behavior and trends, that's where you can learn, and you choose whether or not you want to go with the human behavior, which I find to be very useful in all aspects of my life when I watch what other people are doing, why they're doing it. Um, and yeah, and the way that humans are gravitating towards it, B, talking about it, and then C, utilizing it. It just makes all the sense in the world. I say that NFTs do two major things for brands, and that's market and economy. And being that NFTs add so much economy to a brand or so much marketing capabilities, like it just makes all the sense in the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. And talking about personal habits, what made it click for you? Other than, was it like just the idea that Gary Vee is like putting it out there, and now so you knew so many people were going to get eyes on it, or when it was it like, oh, like it clicked for you on that sense? Were you seeing that the behavior going towards it?
I think the reality I my big example is online banking, right? The reality is we used to all take our checks into the bank, or we used to uh, go to the bank. And now nobody goes to the bank. You deposit your check with your phone, and you never really have to go to the bank. Watching this massive shift from in humans going from banking with the checkbooks to everybody's doing it online in a very fast period of time made me realize that uh, the blockchain, right? The NFTs live on the blockchain, and the blockchain is this really cornerstone technology that, just like online banking, it will completely change the way we do literally everything we do today, because it's digitizing it, which is the new life that, or the new reality of our world.
Absolutely, and it seems inevitable at this point. It's just when and how fast will this start to take over? So real estate traditionally is one of the slowest moving, right? It's like this done the same as it has been for a long time. So it's hard to guess that it would be one of the first industries to pick this up full force. But in the same breath, it seems to be the industry that could potentially benefit from it the most. Um, on that front, what industries do you see taking it on right away, and maybe before other industries do, and having a lot of influence on it?
Ticketing. Every single ticket is going to become an NFT. It already is. Like, um, you know how if you ever fly on certain airlines, you don't even get a boarding pass anymore. You just download it and it goes to your wallet, and then you scan it. That's already an NFT. So all ticketing
Right.
is going to go digital. What else? I mean, literally everything. That's why it's an overwhelming question to ask, just because um, I genuinely believe everything. Fundraising is going to go completely NFT based. Um,
Side note, so I on one of the videos I watched, I remember that you were in the music industry at one point. What did you do in the music industry? And the reason I bring it up is because I think that one of the first, besides real estate and maybe even a little bit before that, the first clicks for me when I thought about the music industry, and it was like, oh, artists, which I am not, but it even clicked for me where it's like they could really change the landscape of their business. How do you see that? Or is that a fair statement?
oh yeah. Um, I was a DJ. I actually was two different DJ groups. One DJ group, I never sold any of my songs to a record label. The other group, every song got signed to a label, and we never made a cent. And all that music got so many more plays, and we never made a cent from it. Whereas the where essentially the brand that I kept the music on, I'm still getting paid from. And so I genuinely feel like NFTs are going to put record labels where they deserve to be, and that is 6 feet into the ground. And it's going to give artists the ability to uh, fundraise themselves and not have to rely on some executives who are taking advantage of you at a young age, and then reaping the benefits for however long your contract is. So, and the reality of the situation is it's still going to be hard to break in the music industry. The cream rises to the top, right? With or without the label, the cream rises to the top for the most part. And so artists will be able to pivot and fundraise personally and not have to rely on somebody like a record label, which is amazing.
And I imagine that in the end, creating a better product for everyone too. Better songs, better music. Just the quality of it is going to go up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the fact of the matter is the utility that you can add to a NFT is infinite. So back to what I was saying about marketing and economy, you release a NFT collection when you're a nobody, and then you become a somebody, and then you bring utility or backstage access or front row for every show to those NFT holders, they're just going to get more and more and more valuable. And then the royalties, people right now who are moving the right direction in Web3 will set up their families for generations indefinitely, financially, just in the way that these royalty structures are going to change people's lives. It's going to be nuts.
That is awesome. I want to touch on that in a second. I'll drop the music thing because you've obviously experienced it firsthand. But what were the two DJ names?
Okay, so the first one was Aviva. That's just my name. And then the
That's a
second
DJ
one,
name. I could see that.
yeah, yeah, it was cool. Then the second one I was in a duo called Mom and Dad. And Mom and
Okay,
Dad.
that's a little different DJ name. That's not the first one I would think of. Very cool.
It was fun. It
Awesome,
was
awesome. So, going back to what you just said, actually, one of the things that I was curious about, being that you have a commercial real estate background, from what I understand, third generation, it's kind of in your family, ingrained in you, successful commercial real estate brokers or agents, investors, and real estate is, I think even for people outside of it is considered that generational wealth. That's long been believed to be one of the better ways to create wealth long term. And like you said, generational wealth. Um, my question is are you that excited about blockchain technology, smart contracts? Do you think it's going to have that type of effect or can it? I know, bring out the snow globe here. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
100%. It's just a different level of risk, right? You buy a piece of property, you don't over leverage yourself, you run it well, and over time you pay off your mortgage. And then once you have a paid off mortgage and a piece of property and a savings account in case anything goes wrong, it you can't lose the property. So it's a really safe investment. Now, life is all about risk and reward, and what your tolerance is at different points in your life. Um, for somebody who has a more tolerant appetite for risk, there will be those people who buy the right NFT and, like I said, or create the right NFT and support their family and then create a generational wealth situation. However, uh, it's way riskier. You have way bigger odds of failing because with NFTs, it's all about the conductor of the train. It's all about the
I know what you
operator
mean.
project. Yeah. So, but creating like a NFT that's secured by ground, maybe that is more risk adverse, and maybe it's something we'll talk about later in this podcast.
I think we just might, because that's something that definitely gets the wheels turning, and it just seems like a no brainer. But there's probably some obstacles in the way, and yeah, we'll touch on that in a second here. No, this is great stuff. Um, what are your conversations with other professionals in your field looking like? Like, are they as excited as you are? Do
Yeah.
they think you're crazy? What is the overall consensus that you're getting in your conversations?
Well, in commercial real estate, um, I say that commercial real estate is just now starting to adopt Web 2, where we're in a world where Web 3 is blossoming. So I find very few people in my field of work or think about NFTs or excited about NFTs. I was talking to my title officer my title guy the other day, who I feel like he's amazing. I love him, but I feel like his job's in danger in the long term. I said to him, I said, Charles, have you like looked into these NFTs? Like this is coming for your job. And he was like, nope, never heard, never looked into it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like I said what I felt and I'm not going to say anymore. So, uh, It's a
I think that's
steam.
the one that everyone kinda goes to. That's the one that just seems right in front of you like, "Kid, that's not gonna be around very long." Because
So
it's such a time-consuming process right now. I mean, what is everyone waiting on? The title work, all that stuff that takes so long, and the longer it takes, the more risk it is for the buyer and seller to not get what they really want at the end, and more problems happen. It can alleviate a lot of that.
oh yeah, and it will. Why? Look, we're we like things immediately, right? Everybody, the Amazon Prime syndrome, right? And then that's how our title, like I said, title is a steam train because it's a really convoluted process right now, and people are not going to put up with that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Um, so what gives you confidence that we just kind of admitted that it's almost rather obvious that especially maybe commercial real estate lacked or was lagging in even Web 2. With that being said, what gives you confidence that they could be a leader in Web 3 or that they will take this on a little bit differently?
I think it will. The reality is people are going to start pushing out NFT projects, fundraising through NFTs, and the numbers and um, the results will speak for themselves, right? Like it's just like Facebook, like running a Facebook ad. Anybody can run a Facebook ad with real estate and get leads um, because it just works. So I think the proof will be in the pudding.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and it's easier to find that number of how it will affect your bottom line as opposed to like Web 2, like, oh, go be active on Facebook. It's hard to convince that'll help out the bottom line. Where if it's changing a process completely this time and in the future, and show them the time and money directly right away. Um, I just think that even if it takes a while, one it could just catch on like wildfire eventually because um, maybe I'm not thinking of it correctly either, but doesn't it seem like it would be a pretty easy thing to implement? I mean, it would be, um, or what does that look like in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's there's a small, like anything in life and in tech, there's a small learning curve. But once you get over the learning curve, transacting NFTs is very simple and very streamlined. And uh, the ability to have a digital asset as a either a collector's item or something of value that can then be sold on the open market is not only going to add liquidity to real estate investors, which is huge, but it also will create another stream of income because uh, say every time your NFT, say you do a fund, you raise money for a property, and every time an investor sells the NFT, 10% goes back to the fund. That's going to be more than the 5% you're going to get buying a warehouse. It's going to increase liquidity, increase margins, and people are going to it'll be just undeniably beneficial.
Absolutely, because a piece of real estate that's on the blockchain is more valuable. You're not getting the discounts on the unknown, or maybe the vaguely filled out seller property disclosures that are rarely taken seriously. Those types of things they can be eliminated, and like you said, make it more liquid and make it more comfortable too to transact in the end.
I would say though, when you talk about like seller's property disclosures or any issues with the property, you I would never, no matter how much the blockchain takes over our lives, never rely on it. Do your own research, do your own inspections, do your own due diligence, because
Right.
I would
It's
say
yeah. It Inspectors will almost be more. They'll be even more important because now their work is going to be recorded, and like you said, definitely do your own own due diligence, obviously, but there that job is not being eliminated. It's going to be more thorough, if anything.
Public, thorough. You never know about honest. I
That's
like
true.
I wish I didn't feel I wish I didn't feel this way, but it's only substantiated in the truth. I would say 90% of the transactions that I do, the seller is lying somewhere somehow, and it's just a matter of figuring it out.
Right. It's almost inevitable. I mean, if you hope for anything else, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate reality that I see day in and day out.
Absolutely.
So
So you go from commercial real estate broker to Forbes columnist. Is that what it's called? Council. Forbes council's member is what I seen. And then you not only are a crypto and NFT investor, but you have taken on even a larger role in it and starting to create some of your own commercial real estate NFT projects. And I know, or I don't believe it's been announced yet. So obviously, I don't expect you to share anything that's not out there. But what can you tell us about that? And yeah, walk us through how that started for you.
sure. Um, I think, like I said, that this is blockchain is a steam train coming at the real estate industry as well as all the other ones. And the I find for me to learn is just to hop in feet first and start doing it. So I am contingent on the sale of a property that I hope will go through in June, releasing my first NFT collection to the partners. But there's some cool things behind it, but I can't talk about it yet because
Awesome.
some intricacies. And then I am also doing a development fund that I'm creating. Um, and I feel really fine talking about it to people because there's a lot of real estate, enough real estate to go around, enough funds for everybody to invest. So I'm working on a real estate fund with a development company that I think will uh, be something that I could probably run for the rest of my life or something like that, or do more.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thanks. What about you?
What about me?
What are you making any NFT projects?
I am not making any NFT projects personally. I am involved with Digital Landowner Society though, and that's how I was brought to you. So, Digital Landowner Society, what they do is they're creating a marketplace to purchase metaverse assets on. So, if you go to the right now, there's three metaverse, the top three, but there's going to be about 20 metaverse that you'll be able to go on this marketplace and purchase through. On top of that, there's going to be some fractionalized land sales, investment tools that people can use. And the reason that I really launched onto that one originally was it was easy for me to understand as a real estate agent. I was like, oh, you're creating an MLS and you're giving people investment tools like something more accessible to find out these what these properties are truly valued at. um, Valuing real property can be hard sometimes, and I think especially valuing like this digital land can be very hard.
Yes.
So that's where a lot of my focus has been, and in that we've created actually a real estate professionals channel in there. So there we have developers and brokers and agents, some lenders that we're kind of sharing our ideas of, hey, are you seeing anything happening in your community? Like, have you heard of any, apartments or that are doing leases like this? So that has been really fun, and that's where um, it has been super, like I needed another thing to focus on, right? But it's hard to get away from because um, I've learned so much and met the people that I met in this Web3 space has been like out of this world in such a short time. And it's just like the tip of the iceberg too. So that's where a part of my time has been spent. I just got done with hockey season 2. I'm a youth hockey coach. I volunteer in the winter for that, so that got done. Now my time is a little more free, which is nice for
Oh,
next 6 months.
beautiful. Helping out the kids.
Yes, yes, that is right. Well, I want to ask you just a couple more generic questions, and then I'll let you get back on with your busy day.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of steal this from one of my favorite podcasts when originally started learning about real estate. But what is one book that you think everyone should read? Like, what is
How
most
to,
influential to you? It could be anything.
sure. How to Win Friends and Influence People by,
Dale Carnegie.
thank you, by Dale. And
Dale.
then probably Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk.
Okay. I have not went through any of his. What is that one about? Is it sales tactics or mindset?
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much marketing and sales, where the whole concept is I meet you and I want to get your business instead of going straight for the punch, right? Because nobody sells that way, and people don't realize that when you just go for the sale, it's an off-putting thing. It's jab, jab, jab. So give, like, provide value, provide value, provide value. Like, saturate your potential client with value, and then when you feel ready, right hook and go for the sale.
That's great. That's great. And you've implemented that book, it seems, with some
Oh,
success.
you cannot grow in our space. You cannot grow a social media following unless you are providing people valuable information, or like that's the only way that I have figured it out. Or you're like really funny, but uh,
That's your professional comedian.
yes, a professional real estate comedian. But yeah, it's just provide value ruthlessly until your intuition tells you the time is right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is great advice. So, besides all of your different professional hats, if you have any off time, what do you do to get your mind off of everything and not stare at the computer screen or, yeah, just turn off for a little bit? Everyone's got to have something.
Yeah, I really liked to sauna. Big Schwitzer.
There you
Schwitz,
go.
sweating in Yiddish. It's just a funny word that I use for hitting sauna. Work out, hit the sauna. I have an issue in that all my hobbies uh, uh, are my fiance is like, Aviva, you need to find a hobby where you don't make money from it. So all my hobbies kind of go into my work, and I really like it, but like to sauna, like
That's that's a good mental one for me too. You just like feel so refreshed. It's like the only place that you can get no notifications, no distractions. I would imagine for you that is even more important with your following and how accessible that you are. I can only imagine the commitment and that takes. So yeah, that's great.
yeah, it's fun. Hey, it's easy when you like what you do.
Beautiful. Well, let's end with that. I really appreciate your time. I'm excited to share this with our community and others, and hopefully we can get together down the road again. Um, maybe even are you on Twitter? Maybe we could do like a Twitter space sometime too. That would be great. I think our following at Digital Landowner Society would really appreciate some of your insights as well.
Yeah, I do have a Twitter. Uh, Obviously, if you're gonna be in the NFT space, you got to have a Twitter so you know what's
Right, right. Obvious question. Yeah.
I would love to chat with you again at your convenience. I really appreciate you reaching out, and look forward to our Twitter space or talking again soon.
Awesome. And then what is the best way for people to follow you and engage with you and get all that value that you are providing?
Sure. Um, TikTok at Real Estate Source, Instagram at Real Estate Source underscore, or you can just email me at Aviva, Aviva, at warehousehotline.com. So,
Beautiful.
yes, sir.
Thank you again for your time. I hope to catch up soon with you.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate you reaching out, Trevor. And I look forward to the next time.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.